So hi guys, this is Judges Solutions. Welcome again to my channel and thank you for always supporting me and taking your time to watch my videos. So today we are going to be speaking about something that is so much interesting, the Histology Laboratory. So you might be wondering, after you go to the theater and the doctors, the surgeons do that operation to you, where they take those samples that they remove from your body. So today I will be demystifying such a tough word. I will be breaking down into bits whatever happens in the histology laboratory. The histology laboratory is where all the samples that are removed from the theater, all those small tissues and large tissues that we get out of your body, we bring them to the laboratory, and the section in the lab that we bring them to is called the histology laboratory. Like you are seeing, my colleague there is just chopping into small bits the tissues that we receive. So I'll take you through the entire process of how we handle these tissues, how we preserve them, whatever the process that they undergo, all through up to the point that we now release results. So the histology section is whereby we want to view the tissues, the small tissues, into very microscopic structures, and it is this process that we can be able to know whether a tissue is cancerous or not cancerous. We call that malignant, and the ones that are not cancerous, we call them benign. So I'll be taking you through, we'll have different people and they'll be taking you through whatever they are doing. It is just a normal day. These videos were randomly taken. I didn't even inform them that I'll be doing this. So take some time and enjoy watching the entire video. Thank you for always supporting me, and if you've not hit that subscribe button, just know you're the only one left out. Thank you very much. Hi Florence.
Hello.
How are you?
Okay.
So what are you doing currently?
Oh, so right now I just have some histology samples here that we've received. So I've just collected them on our phlebotomy room, on our system. So we do the barcoding system. This is what the barcoding system is. Then we come here in this room. Then we come here. So when we come here, we have to pass through the registration. So we register them on a specific register. So this is the histology register because these are histology samples. So that is what I'm doing right now. I just want to give them their unique numbers so that they can be ready for processing. So when I do that, I also do that the same to the request form.
Oh, so it means each case is given a unique number.
Yeah, so you have to give it a unique number.
But there are so many. Why do you have so many containers?
So for this one, somehow it's like a unique test. So it has several samples. So when I register this one, like specifically for this one, I just give it one number, but now I indicate the same number on each
Okay,
sample.
so it's from one patient.
Yes, it is from one patient. Yeah.
They are called systematics.
Yeah.
Systematic. So it means it is the same sample, but now they want to remove it at different sections, systematically. Like maybe a tube, then you cut it at different sections, but now you have to label it.
Yes, you are right.
So how do you label?
Being given the numbers.
Oh.
Yeah, so they, like you see, this one is a number, it's coded. So they have different numbers.
Okay, Roman numbers.
Yes, the Roman numbers.
Okay.
So just give them one unique number.
Oh, nice. Thank you very much. That was so nice. So this is called the glossing room?
Yeah, this is now our glossing room.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Florence.
Welcome.
Yeah. Hey, hello. Florence, you're still here. Hi, Rita. So today I've just visited you briefly. I just want you to take me through the bench, what you do. Oh, Florence, you're leaving?
Yeah, I'm leaving.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
You're done with the registration?
Yeah, I'm now done.
So bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
So I just want you to take me through what happens in this section of the lab. You just tell me, Florence, I was with Florence briefly before you came in, and Florence has already told me that in this particular section, you are He's accessioning. He's doing the unique numbers. He's recording the cases once they have been received from phlebotomy. Then she records them in the histology book and gives them a unique H number, whereby each specimen is given a unique number to avoid confusion. So maybe you can pick up from there and tell me what happens.
Okay, so from there, actually that is what I was doing over there. So after now I have to confirm whether the details on the request form tallies with the ones captured on the specimen containers, as well as confirming whether the specific unique numbers written on the form tallies with the ones on the container. So once that is done, there are specific templates which I attach to the specific request form depending on the sample type. If it's a uterus, there's a specific template for uterus. If it's prostate, the same way. So we have a file for different templates which I'll do so. I'll attach to this one. Now for this case we have it's a prostate core, and there are 12 of them. These are prostate core biopsies. So I'll remove a prostate core template attached to this request form, then transfer some of the details from this request form to the specific template, including the H number for the specific sample, the what else? The initials of the one who is going to assist the pathologist, and also the details for the pathologist.
Continue. So, details.
So after transferring some of the details from the request form to the specific templates, I'll now come and assign these containers different tissue blocks. Yes.
What do you mean by tissue block? Assume I'm a layman. I don't understand these things.
Okay, now these ones are biopsies, right? So for them to undergo processing, we can't just process them as they are.
What is a biopsy? What is a biopsy, Rita?
Okay, now a biopsy, these are tissues that have been removed from a patient who is still alive. Yes.
What if the patient is dead?
It's called an autopsy.
Autopsy. Oh, so do you also process autopsy here?
I think we do, but since I came, we've never had.
Okay. Yeah. But a tissue is a tissue.
A tissue is a tissue.
Okay.
So they all undergo the same processing as biopsy, undergo the same processing as an autopsy.
Okay.
So the first thing I do after I've confirmed everything and attach a template in this request form, now for the sample, for it to be processed, it needs to be kept or rather enclosed in such a thing. This one is called a tissue block. We have different types. There is this one with a thin one. It's called a cassette. Sorry. There is this one with a thin
mesh.
It has a thin mesh. Then the blue one is much bigger. So for this one, mostly we use it for core biopsies and OGDs or small samples.
Okay.
Then for this one, we use it for large samples. Yes.
Okay, so after that, what happens after you have checked the details? Then what do you do to the tissue?
So to the tissue, so I'll still transfer the unique number from the request form to the tissue cassette.
So Naibei, this is Naibei, my colleague. Naibei has just joined us. Maybe you can tell us what brings you here today.
I've come here to register a bone marrow test.
Oh, you mean we also do bone marrows?
Yes, we do bone marrow.
You are doing so much in this lab, eh?
Yes.
So what are you doing briefly?
I'm now registering this bone marrow so that it can be can be sent for processing. Yes.
Where do you send them for processing?
Now the Rita here will send it to Nairobi for analysis.
Bone marrows sent to Nairobi?
Yes, immunohistochemistry.
Oh, it is IHC.
Yes, IHC.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So it's a referred test.
Referred test.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Welcome.
Okay, I just proceed with Rita.
Okay, thank you.
Rita, where were we?
We were on the tissue cassettes.
We were on the tissue cassettes, eh?
Yes. So we assign different tissues in the specific tissue cassettes. Where were we?
You are telling me about cassettes.
So the same detail that is on the same unique number that is written on the tissue container, the sample container, is the same one that was transferred on the request form, and it is the same unique number that we are going to transfer to the tissue cassette, depending on the sample type and the patient. Yes. Then from there is when we'll proceed to grossing.
Oh, grossing. What is grossing?
Now,
In fact, this room was labeled grossing room.
yes.
Yeah.
So grossing is a way of analyzing a sample in a manner whereby the doctor is going to remove segments from different sides of the sample for analysis. Yes.
So if the sample is big, it's like the doctor is sampling,
Yes.
depending on how the tissue presents.
Exactly.
So the doctor does that?
Yeah.
Oh, you cannot do that yourself?
I can do, depending with the sample type and the complexity.
Okay. So maybe you can just take us through you have a very huge machine here.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can just tell us what it does. I understand on my end it is the grossing station.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually called ergonomic grossing station.
Yeah.
So briefly, you can just tell us. Maybe you're leaving. You're leaving?
I have to start sending.
It's
this
okay.
out.
Okay. Bye bye.
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 Uh-huh.
So with us here is the economic grossing station. So this station is designed in a manner that it operates. I can say it is not fully automated. It is semi-automated. So in this chamber we have this screen here, whereby you can take pictures of what you are doing, or rather what you are grossing, and you can transfer the details. The details can be transferred in this machine. But currently that one we don't do. We have an assistant. There's normally an assistant there to assist the pathologist. But without the assistant, the pathologist can just gross on his own. So this is a formalin dispensing place. This is where we dispense the formalin, and this is where we step. There's a chamber here where we step. Once I do like this, it dispenses formalin from there.
Oh, so that liquid is formalin.
This is formalin.
What do you use formalin for?
So formalin is a preservative. It's a fixative. It's a preservative for the tissues. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is formalin, and here we have our water station. I'm a clearing station. This is where if you want to use some of your whatever requirements, this is where we do that. Yes.
Okay. Okay. I'm seeing knives.
Yeah, so we have the knives, the kidney dish, the sieve, the ruler, and the faucet. These ones are just normally used for grossing. This one we use to separate the sample into two.
Okay.
Yes,
Thank you.
large samples. And the ruler we use it to measure the size of the samples, because there are those samples that you need to measure to give the sizes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And formalin is very toxic.
Yes, it is.
How do you manage toxicity of formalin in this place?
Okay, as you can see, before you enter this room, it was written there it's not authorized for all the personnel.
Okay.
And the room is designed in a manner, there's a film, it's called what?
Extraction.
There's a film extraction point inside this room, whereby there is no air escaping outside the room.
Okay.
So even the films that are extracted from the formalin, the machine is able to extract its own.
And it goes outside. Okay.
And you also have this
The other one.
Yes,
Okay.
So we are aware. Yeah.
Okay.
So once we are done with the grossing, now we come to this machine over here. So once we are done with grossing, now this is our next step. This one is called a tissue processor. So this tissue processor, it has more than 10 segments. So as you can see here, we have different baskets, all of which have different reagents.
Oh, and they're dark.
Yeah. So we need to change them. They are long overdue. So the first two steps are for formalin. This one, they enable, it's called, what they do is a post-fixation. The tissues, they normally come in formalin, but still, the tissue, for it to be processed, we need to fix them further. So it normally takes like almost 1 hour, or 45 minutes to 1 hour in each and every basket. Then after fixation in formalin, we come to now dehydration. Dehydration, we do it in 5 changes of alcohol. ascending grades of alcohol. As you can see here, we have the 70%, 95, then the remaining 3 are absolute. So this one does what? It dehydrates, removes water from the tissue. Yeah, then from dehydration, the next 3 changes are xylene. Xylene is a reagent that is used for clearing. Clearing is a process of removing alcohol from the tissue to facilitate the subsequent process, which is impregnation.
Okay.
Impregnation is giving a tissue an internal support, to a tissue for it to be able to withstand the next process, which is microtomy. So the work of xylene is to remove alcohol from the tissue. Then the work of the last 2 baskets, they have molten paraffin wax, and these 2 reagents are the ones that facilitate impregnation or infiltration.
Nice.
Yes.
So maybe we can go through sectioning.
It's okay.
Sectioning, then we tell us briefly about staining and we call it a day. Or we do this next time. I understand you have pending works on the bench. We can break and come back.
Yes,
it's okay. Yes. Bye bye, Rita. Thank you.
Thank you too.
You did well. So hi, like my colleagues mentioned earlier on, this is about grossing. So I'll just show you what the pathologist does when he's doing the process that is called grossing. So grossing, basically, like Rita said, is just sectioning a large tissue into smaller bits that can be a representative sections of the entire tissue. So we usually receive several tissues, and like this particular case here, this is a colon. I'll say this is an omentum. It's called an omentum. It is the fatty region of the colon. So I'll just take you through what the pathologist does. So the first thing that the pathologist is doing there, you can see, is taking the measurements. He will take the measurements of the entire tissue and write them down. So it is length times width times breadth. So after taking the measurements, you can see the pathologist will start sectioning the omentum into small pieces, just cutting this into very tiny sections so that he can obtain a representative section of the tissue. We are supposed to actually weigh the entire tissue and also give its weight. We are also going to describe the tissue. Like this one, I'd say it is very fatty. The color is, you can see the color is yellow, but that is just due to the fat. So the pathologist there is just sectioning it into different small pieces. Looks amazing, right? So after that, he'll just keep on sectioning it. So we are just going to check if maybe in case there's a tumor which is cancerous, if it has moved to areas that border the intestines. It's actually a very interesting process, and histology is one of the most interesting benches to work on, or should I say to work in. You can see the pathologist is trying to look for various sections that he thinks might give him a representative and might bear some fruits when you look at them in the microscope. Yeah, it's quite interesting. So you can see after sectioning it, the pathologist puts the other parts that does not require back. So this is the colon now. This is the colon bit that had the tumor that was removed. So first of all, the pathologist will start by slicing it into half. So you slice it away from the fatty region. Then the pathologist will just flush it off, because you know the colon contains sometimes fecal content, so we'll just wash it briefly. After washing it, you can see the inside part. This is actually a live human colon. We are dealing with live human specimens here. How amazing. Oh, some of you also ask, is the patient alive? Yes, of course, this patient is very, very much alive. We have only taken a chunk, a small piece out of the body. That's actually how it looks like. It was very fatty. So very fast after the grossing, we are going to subject the tissue into the tissue processor, whereby it will process the tissue for around some few hours. Then after that, we are going to give the tissue a solid background. By giving the tissue a solid background, we do what is called embedding. So we will use the embedding station to just put a wax, then we put the tissue in the wax so that it has a solid background. After that, we are going to section the tissue, like you can see my colleague is doing there. Is just cutting the tissue into serial sections. So these serial sections will then be fished and put into a slide. Then we are going to incubate the tissue into an oven at around 70 degrees for a while, just to clear off the wax. After clearing the wax, we will then subject the tissue into varying grades of alcohol. So we are going also to clear, before subjecting them to the varying grades of alcohol, we are going to clear using xylene. So xylene just ensures that all the wax has been removed from the tissue, from the slides in the tissue segments. So after removing all the wax, then we are going to rehydrate the tissues. You remember, we want now to stain the tissue for purposes of microscopic observation. So we are going to rehydrate them, and by rehydration, we start with a higher percentage of alcohol, going down 95%. We go to we start from absolute, we go to 95%, then we go to 50, and finally into water for them to be rehydrated. Then after the rehydration, we will stain the tissue using hematoxylin for about 6 minutes. Sorry, I'm using so many terms that you may not be familiar with, but there is a stain called hematoxylin. This is the process that we call H&E staining, whereby we stain them into hematoxylin for 6 minutes. Then we will wash off the excess hematoxylin. After washing off the excess hematoxylin, we are going to differentiate. We are going to differentiate the tissue until it starts turning into around a salmon color. Then after differentiating, we take it back to the water. Then we are going to blue it into a bluing solution. Then we take it back to the water. Then finally, we will put it into our secondary stain that we call the eosine yellow. So in the eosine yellow, it will stay there for a while, for around 3 minutes. Then we are going to put it into water to wash off the excess eosine stain. And then now we will start the process of dehydration again.